We try here on Turning Point tonight. We really, really try. Maybe we should stop. It's one last point. I have never at any point claimed to be a journalist. I don't, that's not in my repertoire. I don't have any training or credentials that would call me a journalist. I've never said I am a journalist. It's just not something that I do. And I feel like just by default, I kind of hold some of the same journalistic ethics, journalistic integrity elements, or at least I try to the best of my ability. Maybe I should stop. Maybe we should stop just even trying to be fair and honest about things, or at the very least, I'm not serious, by the way. I'm not actually going to stop being fair and honest because that's the only way you get people to believe what you're saying, right? But also, maybe instead of like researching anything, we should just start saying stuff. Because if people in Congress just start saying stuff without any due diligence, without any background checks, without anything, maybe we should too. Maybe I'm wasting my time just cramming hours before the show. Just, is this actually legit? What are we saying here? What's going on in this particular instance? Maybe I should stop, because people like Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, if they aren't doing it, why should I? This is Jasmine Crockett on the floor of the House talking about people who received money from Jeffrey Epstein. Play cut 2.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So Lee Zeldin was named in there. A bunch of people were named in there. And he said, different Jeffrey Epstein lady. And she did say, my team did their research. She said very quickly, so maybe she knew that, hey, maybe some of this wasn't as legit as she thought it was. My team did their research, and we found out that Jeffrey Epstein was not actually the same Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my gosh. If they're not going to try, should I try? Lee Zeldin, I don't want to bury the lead here. Lee Zeldin tweeted, yeah, different guy. Like, total, people have the same name. It's not a common name, but it's also not uncommon. I'll tell you what, Jasmine Crockett, if you find any Joe Bobs on any of that list, or Joe Bob Tylefi specifically, I can guarantee you there's not any of those out there. That's me. And people, for better or worse, are going to be tied to me because there are not many other people like that. But you could also you could find a ton of different people that have the same names. Unless you're talking about the specific person in question, maybe don't bring that to the congressional floor. And if you're not going to try, why am I trying? I've put too much time and effort into doing all of this stuff. I should stop. I don't know. I feel like at some point, I hope that the American people kind of catch up to all of this stuff. And because really, you're only able to do this if the voters allow it, right? If the voters in Jasmine Crockett's district say, yeah, we're not buying any of that stuff anymore, we're just going to vote you out of office, then the problem is solved. But it really, at the end of the day, the responsibility ends with the voters. They're the people that the elected official have to cater towards. They're the constituency that puts them into the seat that they hold. And if they don't care that the due diligence being done by the Congresswoman is minimal at best, what hope do we have for society? Producer Glenn has unmuted himself. He probably has some strong, stern thoughts and some even hand gestures that he was making off camera that he probably won't make on camera. I can't tell you what those hand gestures were, but Producer Glenn, your thoughts?
I don't know that this is the case, but I'm 99% sure. They just did a Control F search of a document of all the donations to big name Republicans. And as soon as they saw the 2 words in the order they wanted, they put it on their document and handed it straight to Jasmine Crockett. It is like the lowest form of research. It's like you've seen the mugs, like, I don't know. I went to seminary ages ago, and people be like, your Google search doesn't replace my theology degree. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't replace much of anything, because you get results like this where,
Well,
yeah, it's obvious. There's two people named Jeffrey Epstein. There's probably a lot of people named Jeffrey Epstein, and then when one of them does something really, really bad, the others are like, oh shoot.
I'm also named Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
There's been times on this show where we've pulled videos and played them in the recording sequence of this show, and I'll be watching the video, commenting on it while I'm doing that. You're feverishly typing away on your keyboard, and then kind of go, I know the Glenn face of like, can't do that because that's not real. And it's happened a couple times, right? It's happened a couple times where you're like, actually, there's
some slick ones out there.
That was satire. And again, there's something to be said about the fact that sometimes you can't tell. Like the Babylon Bee has probably the hardest job in media because
there was that one comedian who was pretending to be like this guy who got from some government benefits, or he got he was pretending he got fired from Microsoft, but it's just some comedian doing a bit. But it was so like representative of some real life reactions, even though that one in particular was satire.
But we did either mention it or we pulled the clip entirely, right? Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Maybe we should just run with it, because if nobody cares, why would I? I don't actually think that. I'm not actually going to do that. We are going to try our best as a
well, we're conservatives. We care about the truth. We actually want to represent reality with the words we choose. So that's it. It's we think we have good points to make, but we're not gonna take that step and just be careless with those words. We have to do our due diligence, even though we're not technically journalists. We do handle important matters, so I think we do a good job with that, with the gifts we have.
What I was going to say, in closing here, the comedian theologian duo that puts together the the format of this show, we hold ourselves to a higher integrity bar than members of Congress, and that is probably saying more than we could actually say with words in the current political environment that we currently exist in. So that's that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't already. If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any of the social media platforms, appreciate your subscription and continued engagement with the content that we actually work somewhat diligently to produce for you every single day. tpt@tvzan.com is the email address. Also, submit a comment wherever you're watching this. We'll see you tomorrow. One last point. God bless America.